Hey there, welcome back to our channel. There has been a gap in posting, but we have been traveling all this time. So, I think it's time to catch up. We visited Portland, Oregon in May of 2024. We did it for a 4 day long weekend trip. And Portland has a lot of natural attractions. So, our goal was to cover a good portion of those in 4 days while doing a good road trip. This is part one of two in this series covering our first 2 days of the trip, exploring some gorgeous mountains and coastlines. So, let's get going.
Hi, we are the Travel Bees, and welcome to our channel. We are in this beautiful Portland, Oregon, and in these 3 days, we are going to cover a lot of Oregon's natural treasures, like the mountains, the waterfalls, the beaches. So we are in the Memorial Day weekend 2024, and today we are planning on visiting the Trillium Lake, Mount Hood, and the Silver Falls State Park.
Our first destination this morning is Trillium Lake, which is at base of Mount Hood. Now, Mount Hood is about 50 miles southeast of Portland on Highway 26, and the lake is at the south of the mountain. This is the Mount Hood Park area, about 40 miles southeast of Portland. And this is well known for camping, RVing, fishing, a lot of outdoorsy activities.
Boating.
Trillium Lake, yes, boating too. And Trillium Lake is one of the more popular lakes. There are many other lakes in this area, but this is one of the most popular ones. You can see Mount Hood in the backdrop. So there's a lot of hiking trails around you can do. There is one hiking trail around the lake, so we'll probably walk around it a bit, enjoy the weather over here, and also the serene, picturesque beauties. It's really, really beautiful. So we'll try to enjoy it for a bit, walk, and then see what we do next.
All the gullies.
This
Yeah, there. There's
This is almost end of May, but there is still a lot of snow on the ground, and that's because this lake is about 3,600 feet above the sea level, and Mount Hood, where we saw more snow, that's about 11,250 feet above sea level. So it's pretty high, and there are areas of shade. So there's still snow this far in the spring. And in fact, the temperature right now is in the 50s. In the evening, it's supposed to go to 40s as well. So it can get pretty cold over here, I guess. Trillium Lakes is about 40 miles southeast of Portland, just at the base of Mount Hood. So, how are you going to come here? There are two ways. One is driving. The route over here is Route 26, and it takes about an hour, I would say. Uh, in most places, it's two lane, but in some places, it's a single lane, so it might be a little slow. There are also some shuttle services from Portland into some of the nearby hotels and lodges, so you can take that as well. So, those are primarily the two options to come over here. We have been about, I would say, maybe a couple of hours at this location, and we spent about 60 to 90 minutes hiking around the lake, and also took some obligatory Facebook and Instagram shots. So now we are ready to leave Trillium Lake behind and head over to our second and last destination of the day. Next, from the Trillium Lake, we are heading off to Silver Falls State Park. It's about 90 miles from here and will take like 2 hours. We are starting during, what time is it now? It's noon. So we should be there by 2 o'clock, I think. So the park is open till 5, and from what I've heard, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to explore it. So I think we should be good time wise. Um, One thing we should check is the weather. Portland gets a lot of rain throughout the year, and we checked that there is probably some rain expected today and a lot of rain expected tomorrow. So I don't know how that's going to impact our plan over here, but we are adjusting our plan, keeping the weather in.
Mind.
Sorry.
Keeping the weather in mind.
Yeah, keeping the weather in mind. So that's something to always think about when you're planning a trip in and around Portland, or even in Washington State, which also gets a lot of rain. Silver Falls State Park is about 90 miles from Lake Trillium, and most of the route is through local highways that are snaking around hills and picturesque farmlands. This is probably one of the best 2 hours of scenic drive I have done while just trying to get from point A to point B. No,
Have reached the Silver Falls State Park, and this is also called the crown jewel of Oregon State Park System due to its beauty. It is also very popular for all outdoor activities like hiking, biking, camping, and it's also rich in wildlife which so if we are really lucky we might catch a glimpse of a bear or a cougar. Let's see.
There is almost no connection for mobile phones over here, or at least for T-Mobile there isn't. So be aware of that and check if your provider has any connection. If you need any information, it's always a good idea to download it ahead of time because in the park you might not get it. Second thing, there is a day park parking permit that's required over here, so you can get it's self-service kiosks here in the parking lot. You get the ticket. It's $5 for the entire day. Put it on the dash of your car. And then, in terms of the park itself, there are multiple trails. There are 10 waterfalls. There is a South Falls, there is a North Falls, there is Winter Falls, there is Twin Falls. There's 10 of them. There are multiple trails where, ranging from about 2.5 miles loop all the way up to 7.5 miles loop. in which you can see a few or all of them. So right near the South Falls, there is this cafe as well. So there is options for some refreshment. There's also restrooms over here. So overall, the park is pretty well equipped in terms of handling people and tourists. So that's good.
Cheers. Let's start the walk.
Coffee and then walk. We are starting our hike here at the park, and we are starting from the South Falls, which is one of the highest falls in the park, and it's probably the most renowned one as well, if I'm not mistaken. There is a path that leads behind the falls, which is, I think, 177 feet tall. It's tempting to explore, but we have a lot of ground to cover, so I think we will leave it for the very end if we have time and energy. While we are hiking, I think it's time to share a little bit more information about this park. Silver Falls State Park has over 35 miles of backcountry hiking trails. We are taking the one that's probably the most frequented ones. It's called the Trail of 10 Falls. So, part of it is a loop, and the entire trail covers 10 falls, as the name suggests. The entire trail is, I think, about 7.5 miles round trip. So we have reached at the other end of the first segment of the hike. This is about 2 miles from the South Falls, and this is where we have North Falls. This is not as deep as the South Falls, and it's also broken in three segments: lower section, the middle section, and the upper North Falls. What we are seeing here is the middle section of the falls.
Yes, I'm talking to the local and the guy was
This is the third waterfalls we are seeing over here. It's called Winter Falls, and it's probably one of the tallest. And right now we are at the bottom of the falls, which is where the viewing area is, and the falls start up over there. Take a look. Over the next couple of hours, we covered around 4 more miles along the trail and explored most of the waterfalls on this trail. Some we did from a distance, some up close, and some even from behind. Each one is unique, so it never gets boring. Unfortunately, I damaged my drone at the lake this morning, so it would have been nice if it was working. I could have probably gotten some really good shots over here. But hey, you make do with what you have. At this point, we have been walking for 3 hours and we have covered nearly 5.5 miles on the trail. Most of the waterfalls that are there, we already got to see. Uh, there's a couple, like one small one over here, and then the South Falls. So another mile and a half of walk before we reach at the parking lot. So the weather has been actually really good, so that helped. But the terrain is pretty steep in places. There it can be slippery. So depending upon your physical ability, you might want to go on a smaller route or on the easier trails. It's not same. It's pretty up and down throughout. So something to keep in mind. So some might think like, why would I want to do a hike like this? It's all waterfalls after all. Uh, I don't know. Like, I guess if you are outdoorsy, you like doing hiking, you like being in nature, then you'll enjoy this. Uh, if you're not, if you're not, then it might not be your thing. But yes, we like to be in nature. We like the peace and serenity of it. So these are the kind of things we like to do.
And the smell of the forest.
The smell of the forest,
Intoxicating.
the different sounds of the forest, the birds and everything, and the water. It's very calming. So we both work in pretty demanding places. So every now and then, when we get traveling, this kind of escapes is kind of healing, at least for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Very welcoming. আমি কিছুই বলতাম না আমি রাজমাকে রাজমাই বলতাম ये दीदी শ্বশুর বলতো যে ক্যাপসুলের তরকারি ক্যাপসুলের তরকারি করবো
Oopsie, watch out. Yeah, so Suri was, we were talking about what we're going to have for dinner today. And we being Indians, I think after pretty involved hiking, our comfort food is rice and dal lentils. And yeah, dal chawal is what we call it. And kidney beans is one of the dals. And she was just saying that her sisters in-laws, they call kidney beans, they hate kidney beans, and they call it like capsule. So who wants to have capsule curry? Right? Finally done with our hike, about 4 hours end to end, and we walked 8 miles or so. Could have been a little less because we lost our way in between and had to hike another extra half a mile, I would say. So yeah, this whole trek, I would say, plan maybe like half a day for it. If you are, if you can, I would recommend doing it early in the morning, but definitely keep weather in mind and do it when there is no rain expected or not too much heat either, because that's going to really add up to the stress of doing the hike. So that's the end of today's plan for us. Now we're going to go and have some dinner, and then we just have to relax. We did a lot of walking. So see you in the next one. Today we are going towards Cannon Beach on the Oregon coast. We had to actually change our plan a little bit. I was thinking initially we will go to the different mountainous areas and complete those and then go towards the coast. However, because of the weather, it was been pretty rainy this morning in the mountains, but it looks better weather towards the coast. So we figured that we will complete part of the coastal areas that we wanted to cover today, and then we'll do like a mix of going towards some of the mountainous areas in the morning tomorrow, and then cover some of the coastal areas towards the evening, and change it up that way. So always, I guess, you might have to, you might plan it one way, but you have to adjust it based on the conditions. So that's what we're doing. We are here at our destination, and it's well past lunchtime. So before we head out for the beach, it's time to get some food. We just arrived at Cannon Beach. It's around 3 p.m. right now, a little over 3 p.m. We had our lunch, some seafood right over here, and then we are walking towards the beach right now. So it's very quaint. The weather is almost ideal. It's a little on the chillier side, but we are getting a few peaks of the sun, so it's not too bad actually. The temperature is really good. We're going to take a walk through the township towards the beach and towards Haystack Rock. So stick around. We're getting towards the beach over here. There are several access points towards the beach from the streets inside the town. I don't know if there is any specific like parking space or parking area.
এখানটা দেখো ঠিক আছে একটা
Like the rocks? ওইরকমই ওই যে ওইদিকে দেখেছো? That's called the Haystack Rock where
It's like Iceland. ওই টিলাগুলো দেখেছিস?
right now we are in front of the Haystack Rock. So this is the geological formation. Essentially, I guess this was part of the mountains over here. Over time, wind and ocean kind of eroded. So these kind of rocky outcrops are present throughout the Pacific West Coast. This one is a pretty popular landmark here on Cannon Bridge. One of the main reasons is this is also home to a large number of puffins, which is not pretty common or usual over here. So It started to get cloudy and the wind is picking up, so I think we will call it a day and head back to our Airbnb now. Tomorrow, we will visit the Columbia River Gorge area and then head back to the Pacific coast where we will check in a new Airbnb. There is a reason why we are doing it, and to know why, as well as to see what we cover in our next 2 days, check out part 2 of this series. Until then, stay well and have a wonderful time. See you soon.